Hello everyone, welcome to Whisky Wednesdays. We're going to just wait a couple of seconds till everyone gets online and then we'll kick off for today. So let me just get my phone set up. Alrighty, here we go. Good to see some people in already. Hellfire Bluff, Fever Trish. Alrighty. Hang on, let me just turn my volume down here. Thanks for that, Mum. Live studio audience today, we've got Mum in the house. Alrighty, so today what we're going to be doing, we were going to do whiskey books, but then I had the idea, let's do some whiskey and mixing. So today, we've got some Fever Tree, which I'm super excited to use. We've got some soda water, and then we've got some Coke. And we'll get to that one last. We're going to save that for a special one. So we thought, yeah, let's do something a bit different today. This is a follow-on from a question we had last week of, can you mix whiskey and is it acceptable to? And I think, yeah, basically today is sort of breaking down the myth that all whiskey should be drunk neat. Whiskey should be drunk in any form that you like. And I think, being a brand ambassador, you sometimes get those odd questions where people are so adamant about drinking single malt whiskey on its own. But I think being a bit more youthful, I don't drink whiskey just on its own. I drink whiskey in many different forms. And I think that's why today I want to showcase what we can do with mixing whiskies, how we can mix them, and what things go well. We'll have a little bit of fun. It's not going to be too serious. Normally we sit on the couch, but today we're back behind the bar and we're going to kick off today. So I think first off, we're going to go with one of my favourites, the Whiskey and Dry. So basically, where does the Whiskey and Dry come from? And it came from a 1930s movie called, actually let me just double check. Anne Duffy said this. And it was, yeah, basically she wanted a whiskey and dry on the side then to mix. So basically what today we're going to do is we're going to have our Fever Tree Dry and our McHenry whiskey. First off though, one of the best whiskey and dries comes in a can. And there is nothing wrong with this at all. This is where whiskey and dry became big in Australia. Back in 2001, Australia was the first country to actually have RTD, so ready to mix can, of Canadian whiskey and dry. And personally, it's still one of the standouts today. You've got a really good balance and it's a nice and easy drink. I can imagine some people are freaking out at the moment being like, why is he having this? But whiskey should be drunk however you want. Today we're going to make a little bit of a different version. What we're going to do is we're going to have a McHenry and dry. So you get your nice rocks glass, you get some ice in there. These are very simple drinks today, nothing too special. We're going to do an in-depth whiskey cocktail video, but this is nice and easy. So yeah, Fever Tree Dry. Today we're just using the normal dry. They have a smoky dry as well, and they also have a spiced orange one, which works really, really well with the barrel-aged gin. You put a bit of cinnamon in there too. We actually had a great time drinking those at a movie screening the other day. So basically, I forgot to put my whiskey in. All right, so today, got my little bottle. I'm only going to do half pours today because we're making 4 drinks. So what we're going to do is 15ml of McHenry single malt whiskey. Alrighty, great pouring skills. And then top it off with some dry. Garnishes, we're going to keep those nice and simple today as well. Lovely on its own. And just simple. Top it up as much as you like. I love dry ginger. So for me, I could just top it all up. But you still want to get those whiskey characteristics. Nice and simple. Some dehydrated lime. Just give this a quick little mix around. And voila. That's our first cocktail of the day. Whiskey and dry. It's really, really lovely. I really like our whiskey because it has that sweetness coming through. So when you do mix it with a nice dry ginger, and the Fever Tree Dries, it's got those spices through it. It's not as sugary as some. So this is really beautiful. Oh, that's delicious. I love drinking whiskey in any shape and form. And whiskey and dry was one of the sort of the starting whiskies, the ways to drink whiskey that I really got into. So that's beautiful. All my friends will know that I love CC and dry, and it's really cool to make a fancy CC and dry today, fundamentally. So yeah, basically, it originated back in the 30s from the old movies, and people wanted something on the side, but then to mix as well. And it's evolved, and yeah, Australia was the first country to actually bring in a ready-to-drink Canadian version, and then, yeah, so we're making a fancy one. Now, I'm going to keep it a bit more classy with the next one. We're going to make a scotch and soda, so a highball, basically. I don't have any highball glasses, but that doesn't really matter. And actually, we're going to use some scotch for this. So today, what I'm using is we're going to use our Glenfiddich Project 22, or the XX. Alrighty, so once again, nice and simple. What you do, ice, whiskey, and then you top it off. So I'm going to make this one and we'll get to some questions, because I see a lot of them coming in at the moment, and yeah. So once again, what we're going to do is 15ml of our Glenfiddich. It's one of my favourites. Glenfiddich 12 was actually the first bottle of whiskey I ever bought, so it's always going to have a bit of a special place for me. See, 15ml. I really like this one. It's a bit drier as well. It was a combination of about 20 different brand ambassadors cask that they chose. This is a special edition, so it's a really cool one. Put that to the side. Actually, keep it here for the presentation. And yeah, just some soda water. Top it up. And then a little bit of orange for this one. Actually, I'm going to add a little bit more water, soda water to this one. Lovely. Once again, give that a little bit of a mix. And I'll talk to you about the history of what Scotch and soda is and where it came about. And then I'll get to some questions. Really nice. You get those whiskey flavours coming through. Whiskey and water is always a good way to bring out some of those more nuanced flavours. Alcohol, in its essence, you do get those. Once you add water, it does open it up quite a lot. So, actually, I'm going to get some questions and then we'll get into the nerdy bits because I can see lots coming in. So, good to see heaps of people in already. Hellfire Bluff, Fever Trish already. Sona, good to see you. Antagonist Spirits. Regards from Colombia, good to see you again. Good to see you, mate. Whiskey Girl Collection, Jared, Becca List Whiskey. People saying hello. Good to see everyone. Yeah, people are drinking along. That's what we want to see on a Wednesday afternoon. So just, yeah, hope everyone's doing all right at home. Stay safe. Sommeliers Australia, good to see you guys. Tom, Whiskey Girl Collection says she needs a drink. Yes, definitely go grab one and join us. Whiskey Holic says hello. Hello, mate. How are you? Who else? Plenty Cider, good to see you again, guys. Jackie, Chloe from Hellfire, we've got one especially for you coming up later, so it's going to be cool. Alrighty. Groovy Distiller, good to see you, Mark. Good to see everyone. Dad Needs Whiskey, we'll get to your question at the end. And Carrier Distillery, make a great little lightning gin. Check it out, it's their Navy Strength version, I think. I'm pretty sure I've got that right. So, alright, Scotch and Soda. Scotch and Soda is probably one of the most, I think it's a drink that's going to bring back mixing whiskey and mixes together. Actually, we were watching a documentary the other week, The Amber Light by Dave Broom. And it was great to see Dave Broom, who's pretty much the preeminent whiskey writer in the world, say that highballs are the way back, is the way that whiskey will keep evolving. And I think that's really cool to see that someone who drinks so many single malt whiskies is actually bringing light to mixing whiskey. And I think it's really important because it's great just mixing, it's great having whiskey neat, but I think you also need to appreciate it just in other forms. Like, I love to nose a whiskey in a Glencairn, but I'm not going to go out on a Sunday afternoon and just drink neat whiskey. I want to have it mixed, I want to have it experimental. So I think that's really exciting to see. And yeah, the highball, it's a massive drink in Japan. You look at Suntory and their Toki whiskey and you get it on tap and it's really cool. And I love going to the Elysian Whiskey Bar, and Yao has a weekly highball, so you have your different flavours. I think the yuzu one, the peach one, and all seasonal flavours. He had a plum one, I think, not long ago, so that was really cool. I love it, Whiskey and Almond. They've got a Johnny Walker Green on tap, a highball, a little bit of lime through it, so it's really cool to see what bars are doing with highballs. And yeah, it's great. Originally originated back in the 1880s, and yeah, it's a bit of a... I was doing research today, and you can't really find a lot on the history because it's so many people are claiming it to be. But the name highball comes from, it's an old rail yard term where the highball used to be the ball that used to sit inside the water tank. And when the conductor for the trains to fill up the old steam engines, and the conductor used to blow his horn twice, so 2 short and 1 long. And then the recipe really originally calls for 2 shots and 1 long drink. So that's where the name highball comes from. So that's my random fact of the day. So yeah, gonna have a little bit of this, and then we're gonna go into a whiskey and tonic. And then we're going to finish with the crowd favourites, I think. So let me just get to a little bit more of our comments coming through. Yeah, Caro's excellent. Yeah, definitely. I recommend using Whiskey Lefroy. Yes, a Lefroy and Coke, so a smoky cokey. So once we get onto the Cokes or any whiskies, we'll get onto that. So definitely going to talk about that. Whiskey and aloe vera. Ooh, I reckon we should try that. I've seen your video on that. That was pretty cool, Chloe. Whiskey and Red Bull. My mates actually drink that. So I think we might have to definitely do some more episodes and have a second edition of Whisky Wednesdays and mixing drinks. So Whiskey Holic. Highball is in for sure. Tried a signature Talisker highball in Japan by Noir. It's definitely delicious. He had peppercorns. Peppercorns are a great garnish. We touched on that with our classic dry gin episode where Elise from us, we talked about that. And yeah, it's a great little garnish. Dad Needs Whiskey had my first highball in Hiroshima. Yeah, Japanese culture and highballs are brilliant. I think I think we should see more highballs, and definitely you are seeing that. Applewood Distillery, good to see you guys. They say peated whiskey and coconut water. I think we might have to try that, add that to our list. Whiskey and kombucha. Yeah, I think we're gonna have to do an episode 2. We might have to get Chloe on for this one and do a second live version. But before I keep rambling and boring everyone, let's get back to some more drinkies. Alright, so another one. What we're gonna do today is a whiskey and tonic. Nice and simple. I'm actually going to use a Starwood twofold because this is where I had my first whiskey and tonic. So once again, you grab some ice and just put that in there. So yeah, once again, depends on how. I'm just going to use 15 ml today. So twofold, that's their grain whiskey. Really cool little stuff. And yeah, I think it really works well with the tonic water. Quite light. Nearly at the end of the bottle. So yeah. Once again, 15 ml. And then top it up with, we're going to use the Fever Tree Indian tonic today. I think this works best. You could use the Mediterranean, but I think that might be a little bit too, sweet maybe. So I think this one, I love the Indian tonic with your classics. It even works well with our barrel-aged gin. Because the barrel-aged gin is quite a delicate flavour, I think this one does highlight it. So we're going to do a whole episode of barrel-aged gin and we'll use some Fever Tree stuff. But yeah, today, just top it up with tonic. And I think for this one, we'll just keep it some lime. I've just got the lime and orange today. Keep it nice and simple. I'll put that there. And I think I really like tonic and other things you wouldn't really, my brilliant stirring skills. Like tonic and coffee liqueurs, like a tonic and Mr. Black, really highlights what's actually going on within that coffee liqueur. So have a little bit of sippy of this. Ooh, that's really cool. I really like that. You've got those really, I like that Starwood flavour coming through, but then you get that tonic kick and it's really cool. I like this. Just going to move this out of the way. So feel free to ask any questions. I think before I get into my last drink, I'll actually answer some of the questions that we got sent through. So one of the questions we got asked was by Dad and his whiskey. And this goes back to sort of what we talked on last week. What other barrels are we using for maturation? So I touched on last week how a majority of what we do is using bourbon barrels. But today I've got 2 other little things that we got. This is a really unusual colour for a McHenry whiskey. So this is a Pinot Noir cask. Came from France. We actually did some research from the Burgundy area, so we can really trace that right back to the source. And this is only about, it's 3 years old. So it's quite a young whiskey, but already you can tell, comparing it to some of the older cask samples we've got, just the difference of that Pinot wood coming through and imparting all those flavours and that colour, and you get all those tannins coming through. So yeah, I thought, let's show off some of these and see what other forms of wood and maturation we're doing. So this one's super berried. You get some great little flavours coming through. And then we just bought about 100 casks, ex-brandy casks out of South Australia. So really excited to see where they go and how they impart their flavours. I think we've done some cognac casks before, but now to use an Australian version with the brandy, it's going to be really exciting. And a little bit, although it is still a bourbon cask, this one is actually, what we've done is a refill bourbon. So from the original McHenry distillery, and we looked at this last week and had a bit of a taste. So yeah, I think it's really cool to see that we're using other stuff besides just a bourbon barrel. But then you use your port casks, your Pinots, your brandies. I'd love to use like even some Calvados, and being in Tasmania, we have such a great wine industry, and I think we can really use so many of the casks. Like I know Frogmore Creek do a really good ice Riesling, so to use those and see how the different barrels interact, and I'm really excited to see where we're going from our wood production side. And let's get on to probably our last and most controversial cocktail of today. That's going to be a whiskey and Coke. And I think this one, it's a great drink. I'm not going to lie. People really like whiskey and Coke. Bourbon and Coke, Scotch and Coke, Irish whiskey and Coke. And today we're going to do McHenry and Coke. So yeah, it's really, I think people are probably going to get, a lot of the whiskey enthusiasts might dislike me after this, but I think we need to highlight ways that you can actually drink whiskey differently. So whether it be dry or tonic or with soda, we still have to, people are going to drink whiskey however they like. And I'm a big advocate of drinking it how you like, if it's with cocktails, if it's on ice, if it's neat. And I think being the younger of the brand ambassadors, I think I have a very different view on how we should drink whiskey. And I think really, yeah, I keep going on about it, but we should drink it however we like. So today for our last little drink, we're going to have a whiskey and Coke. And I asked, once again, we'll just put some ice in here. I asked our mixing expert, Chloe from Hellfire Bluff, should we do a smoky cokey today or should we do a cask strength cokey? And she said, let's do a cask strength cokey. So, alrighty. What we're going to do is actually we're going to use a cask strength sample that I picked up. So this is a 200 litre American oak coming at 62.8%. Alrighty. I asked Bill about this today and he said, yeah, let's do this episode. So it's pretty exciting to see what this is going to taste like. Alright, so 15 mil. Once again, I'm just doing the half balls today. This is a really cool cask. Came from the mid-tiers of the racks in our warehouse, so I can't wait to see how this goes. Feel free to comment away. I'm going to check my comments after this and then we'll open it up for some more questions. Alrighty, this, I don't normally mix whiskey and coke, it's not my go-to, but for today's sake, we are going to do it. Alrighty, so just pour in your coke. Because we're only doing half pours, I won't fill it up. And then we'll put that back there. We're going to get some more lime in this. I think lime and cocoa as well. Now give this a mix, and I can't wait to read the comments to see what people are saying about this one. That's actually really delicious. Because you've got those beautiful cask strength bourbon notes coming through. Actually, cask strength whiskey might be the saviour of whiskey and coke because you've got a lot more of those flavours coming through. Oh, you get a beautiful mouthfeel. I'm a bit blown away by this. I didn't expect it to be. I thought the coke would have overpowered it a lot, but I think using only a smaller amount of coke and using a bigger bowl of whiskey, you get really cool flavours. That's a winner. I wouldn't recommend drinking real high strength, cask strength coke because it will creep up on you. It's also probably quite expensive, but every once in a while, do it, experiment, see what whiskies work with it. The other option was today we're going to use an Octomore. But I think that may be a little bit too peaty, but look, I think in our episode 2 of mixing whiskies with our aloe vera, our kombucha, and all those other goodies, we'll definitely get some more things. And I think we might even, I'll see what other car samples I've got, and then we'll mix those all together. So I'm going to go through my comments, and yeah, definitely ask away. We've got lots today, so good to see over 20 people in today. Good to see Katie, good to see Cab. Fever-Tris, whiskey and tonic, yeah, definitely. Dad needs whiskey. Love those oak Pinots, yeah. I really like the Pinot cask. It's different. It takes on a real berried flavour. You get some strawberry notes. It's still very young though. Only being 3 years old, I'd still love to see this with another 3, 4, 5, 6 years of maturation. But I'm going to keep a close eye on this because I really like where it's going. And I really like to see, how our spirit reacts in different barrels. So, really great question, mate. Alrighty. Love a good experimental barrel. Yeah, we've got some really cool ones. I'm really excited to see where the Hill Rock barrels are going, where the Pinots, and where the refill barrels. Being that third fill, you've got your bourbon originally, a McHenry distillery whiskey in it, then we've decanted that, and then we've refilled it. So that's going to be really cool to see how, especially with our temperature and environment, the whiskey reacts to that. So, Whiskey Oil Collection, she's liking it. Applewood Distillery say smoky cokey. Yes, definitely, we'll do some smoky cokeys in the future. Whiskey Holic, depends on who's drinking them, Sam. You are forgiven. Oh, thank you very much, mate. Thanks for that. Good to see everyone. Jackie says, whiskey and coke got me, started in the whiskey world. Got to start somewhere. That's exactly right. That's a really good question. When you think back to where you started drinking whiskey from, I started drinking whiskey and coke, whiskey and dry. The original soft drink that was actually meant to be used for whiskey was Mountain Dew. I was doing some research before, and it wasn't meant to be coke. It wasn't meant to be anything that. Mountain Dew is actually meant to be a whiskey mixer. And I actually tried Mountain Dew for the first time in a long time the other day, and it was interesting. And I didn't really want to put that with whiskey, but look, I think we might have to get that in for part 2 of this, but it's really cool to see the history of mixed drinks and where they go. So I'm going to keep reading some comments. Apple would say, yes, son, send the cask strength. Yeah, we've got some cask strength stuff ready to go. Hugh and View say, perfect for 3 p.m. Yes, definitely perfect for 3 p.m. Dad and his whiskey say, Bogans rejoice. Yeah, that's a good one. Someone said, at Applewood Distillery say, perfect for 11 a.m. Oh, look, it's always somewhere drinking in the world, but always drink responsibly. Just remember that one. So, Carrie Distillery enjoying it. Fever-Tris, yeah. This is a bit less serious today. Normally I try to keep my gin ones quite informative and serious. Today, let's liven up. Let's get some smiles going. And yeah, this has been quite a fun one today to sort of show off how I quite like to drink whiskey just on a weekend. I love whiskey and dry. I love things like that. So, definitely going to keep reading some comments. What do you think about flaming the cocktail? Ooh. That's a really good question, Martinez. Ooh. We definitely could do some with the cask strength, but I don't know if I'm going to be allowed to set fire in my house. So what we're going to do is I'm going to tell Bill and Bill, we're doing a video with them, I think later in the week, early next week down at the distillery. So we'll get them to flambe some whiskey. I think that's probably safer, and yeah, being outdoors there, we can definitely do some. We'll get that away from the ethanol, so yeah, probably a little bit too risky to do it inside. Ali's Whiskey, good to see you, Ali. Big shout out to you. And yeah, definitely ask some questions. I'm going to go through all of these one more time, give you a rundown of what my favourite is, and then we'll probably wrap it up for this afternoon of this bit of a light-hearted Sunday session. Whisky Wednesday, sorry. The whiskey and dry, I think that's probably going to be... I'm trying to be impartial here, but I just love whiskey and dry quite a lot. So this is probably going to be my favourite, but we'll go through everything. Ooh, that's really cool. I used actually one of our older barrels for that, so barrel 17, so you get that nice little honey note. Alrighty. The one with soda, it's just classic. It's a classic drink. Applewood Distillery asks, what's my favourite cask style? Ooh, great question. When I first started drinking whiskey, I really loved the big sherry barrels, and I think that was a really nice approachable way for me to start, like those sherried whiskies at 40%, and I started to move up to cask strength. But now I think because I get more nerdy and in-depth with my love of whiskey, I really like a really cool bourbon barrel, say like a refill or a second fill, and to see those nuanced flavours coming through. I love Islay whiskies that aren't peated as well, so I love some of the Bunnahabhans that aren't peated and using some of that. I tried one the other week which was a Balvenie aged in an ex-Islay cask, and that was really cool to see how those smoky flavours came through the cask rather than being through the barley. I think at the moment, I think bourbon casks are probably my favourite. Cask strength bourbon with a bit of extra age on it. Yeah. Or old grain whiskey aged in like a second or third fill bourbon cask. I think that's probably my favourite style of casks. So, really great question. That was a good one. But I think, I might have to do a whole episode on what I love to drink. And I think what we're going to do is we're going to do what I love to drink, what Bill loves to drink, what Bill loves to drink, and then what everyone else at the distillery likes to drink. So showcase what our flavours are and what we like and how that sort of influences what we make as a distillery. Alright, I'm going to get into the tonic one. First fill or refill? I like both. I like first fill casks, I like refill casks. We've never experimented with virgin oak, so just a brand new cask, but I think personally I like first fill. I think refill are great, but I do love that nice bold flavour that a first fill cask does give off. This whiskey and tonic is really, really cool. I really like the tonic flavours coming through, and the whiskey's a really nice base for it. Might have to take over my gin and tonic love, so really, really cool concept. And then we're going to finish, I think this will be mine to sign off with today. Hope everyone's staying safe. Have a lovely afternoon. Yeah, definitely try and experiment with your cocktails. It's really cool to see. Yeah, I'm gonna try my cask strength Cokie. Really interesting. The lime in there does freshen it up a little bit too, but I love that I'm still getting the McHenry whiskey flavours coming through. I didn't expect that, and that's really, really cool to see, and I really, really like that. That's really interesting. So yeah, I think in summary today, what we've done today is sort of broke down the myths of only having to drink whiskey neat, and really, you buy a bottle, you drink it however you like, and I think that's my message is, let's everyone just enjoy whiskey. Enjoy it how you like. Let's not criticise each other for how we like it. And yeah, everyone stay safe at the moment. If anyone has any more questions, ask away. If not, I'm going to sign off for this afternoon, and I think I might have to put these up on our website and do a bit of an alternative to whiskey cocktails. So we'll see you all on Sunday at 2 p.m. for another edition of Sunday Sessions. We're going to be looking at the Federation gins this week, so the official gin of Parliament House. So really cool product with every single state being represented and territories with a single botanical. Blend those out, distill those separately, blend it all together, and yeah, we'll do some cocktails with those and tell you the story and tell you how that came about. So really good to see you guys. Let me just get some final comments. Applewood Distillery say legend. I know you guys are legends. Keen for our live stream next week. Carry Distillery, you guys are amazing as well. A Dad and his whiskey, your products are too top shelf to be mixing. Oh, look, you've got to try it. You can't knock it till you try it, and I think today was a really good example of that. Whiskey Oil Collection says my fave. Yes, definitely. Good to see Laura. Laura's one of our amazing staff at Salamanca Market, so she looks after us down there. Elise and Laura, they're great. So can't wait to get back down there and see you guys. Good to see Denver and Lily. Hey mate, how are you? We're going to do a whole episode on glassware and what's best to drink out of, so we're definitely going to use some of yours. I think we might have to get some gin glasses for the distillery, so good to see you mate, and stay safe as well. Alrighty guys, I think that's gonna do me for this afternoon. Stay safe, Hope everyone's well and try your whiskies differently. See ya.